this time targeting children under 5. I am informed that the program will be targeting over 9,000 children. Really, it's a very good number. However, it is therefore incumbent on us to ensure proper usage of the rations received and to be reporting to distribution centers on time.
The move, according to the Health and Social Welfare Minister, is aimed at reducing malnutrition among children, especially those under 5.
Now, this blanket supplementary feeding is aimed at preventing children from being malnourished, especially during this lean period that we are experiencing. The blanket supplementary feeding is also targeted at 14 districts where malnutrition rates have been above the 10% threshold. Approximately 25,000 to 30,000 households and children will be reached through the blanket supplementary feeding program, and this is all through the efforts of the WFP.
The program, which is expected to last for 4 months, is targeting 25,000 children between the ages of 6 to 59 months through 46 distribution sites located in the 5 regions of the country. The campaign will also arm mothers with essential nutrition education and also provide essential health service to the children. For GRTS News, I am Asirmane.
You can monitor GRTS Radio live on our website at www.grts.gm. We'll be back with more stories right after this short break.
$1,000 is cash to be won. This month, AfriCell is offering $500,000 worth of cash prizes for the subscribers that registered their lines. You heard me right. Win over $500,000 worth of cash prizes with the AfriCell Register and Win promotion.
What? Scratch and win?
It's register and win. $500,000 is cash.
Wow! $500,000 is for simply registering my AfriCell line?
That's right. Hurry up and register your AfriCell SIM card now and stand the chance of winning $500,000 is cash. Every Friday, 5 lucky AfriCell subscribers who have correctly registered their AfriCell lines will win through a live draw on GRTS TV. You can register your AfriCell SIM card at any AfriCell customer care outlet or service center or at any of the AfriCell registration points spread all over the country. Register your AfriCell line now to avoid disconnection and win $500,000 is cash with the AfriCell Register and Win promotion.
Welcome back. DR Congo has accused neighbors Uganda of backing the rebellion in the country's North Kivu region. Kinshasa's latest accusation aimed at a foreign country comes week after authorities there blame Rwanda of fueling the war in the Congo. Kampala has denied the accusations, saying it has nothing to do with the rise of the M23-led rebellion in the north of the country. Meanwhile, Rwanda continues to vehemently dispute UN report confirming Kigali's support to rebels fighting the Congo army. We have details in this CFI report.
Democratic Republic of Congo has accused Rwanda and now Uganda of supporting the M23 rebel force operating in the east of the country. The M23 rebel group has been fighting the Congolese army in the North Kivu province since last May. The Ugandan army denies the allegation.
We are not a guerrilla force to deploy a platoon here and a platoon there. If indeed we are supporting M23, which was shooting at the Congolese soldiers, would they run towards us for protection? We have no reason whatsoever to interfere in the Congo. We enjoy very good relations with Kinshasa.
The president of DR Congo has questioned Uganda over its alleged support for the M23 rebels that are increasingly well equipped as they combat the DR Congolese army and United Nations peacekeepers. Meanwhile, the United Nations has released a report confirming Rwanda's involvement in the unrest in DR Congo. Rwanda's Foreign Minister Louise Mushikiwabo denies the findings of the UN report and is calling on Rwanda's international partners to lift aid sanctions.
In western Uganda, at least 14 people have now died in a dangerous new Ebola outbreak, and the World Health Organization says 36 suspected cases of the highly infectious disease have been reported. CNN's David Mackenzie has more on the epicenter of the disease outbreak in the village of Kagadi.
Well, the conditions at the hospital are very tenuous in that we can't actually go inside into the most extreme section of isolation where those patients are. This is the Grts hospital behind me. There are some 18 patients in there, some of them in a severe conditions. The health officials telling me, Christy, that at least a couple of them are showing strong signs of hemorrhagic fever, the kind of symptom of Ebola, which would be sort of blistering sores, extremely contagious, and almost always in certain strains of Ebola fatal. So right now health officials are scrambling to secure this hospital behind me. They're putting tents up, various stages of disinfectant, so you can go in. You can see I'm even wearing some protective gear here outside the hospital. The CDC, the Center for Disease Control, is mobilizing a large team to come here in the coming days to try and stamp out this outbreak, because it took several weeks for them to figure out that this was Ebola in the western Uganda. The worry is that that could have spread out to villages around this area and even beyond that. Mobilization of health workers when they found out that Ebola or similar hemorrhagic viruses are around. There's no cure for it. You cannot help the patients in any way other than give care to keep them comfortable and hope they fight it themselves. Now the issue is, of course, is that because this is a highly contagious disease, is whether it can spread further, not just beyond where I'm standing right now at the ground zero of this outbreak, but also further than that. Of course, the risk is relatively minimal if they come in quickly, but here's what one expert has to say to me about why they come in here so fast.
It's important to stop these outbreaks very quickly because, you know, we want to, limit the spread of the contact of the disease spread in the community. That's our first and foremost priority. But we also want to limit the spread or the potential spread of this getting into a larger city like Kampala or even, you know, international air travel, someone getting on a plane. So the potential for these viruses to spread globally is there.
Well, Christy, the issue is there is that obviously the world is so connected that any outbreak of any kind needs to be dealt with very quickly and very severely. There is a sense that they have this under control, at least to a certain extent at this point. I don't want to alarm people, but there is a sense that they have to get out into this region, find anyone who's suffering it. Another issue is obviously the fear factor. People don't want to come into a hospital sometimes if they know there are people suffering from the disease. Some of the early symptoms are quite like a common cold. So they're trying to set up this in a way to make it safe. Several stages of isolation for suspected patients, confirmed patients of Ebola, so that they can stamp this out quickly. The next few days, couple of weeks are really critical. Christine?
You know,
President Bashar al-Assad has warned that the conflict in Syria will determine the fate of the nation. According to state-run media, the Syrian leader told the army the enemy is among us and is using inside agents to destabilize the country. Meanwhile, fighting is raging across Syria, and there are reports that rebels have clashed today with government troops in 2 Christian districts of Damascus, both strongholds to President Assad. And as rebels take more territory, they are also taking prisoners. In the north, captured government forces are being held at a school converted into a detention center. CNN's Evan Watson has this exclusive report on the prison. A warning, it has some graphic and disturbing content.
Rebel-controlled makeshift prison in a school where they're keeping 112 prisoners. They're going to show us the prisoners' conditions right now.
Instead of school children, this crowded classroom holds at least 40 prisoners. We won't show their faces because most of them clearly don't want to be filmed, perhaps fearing retribution against their families. The prison warden accuses these men of being members of the Shabiha, Syria's much feared pro-government militia. He orders one prisoner to stand up for the camera and take off his shirt. He limps, unable to stand flat on his feet. This prisoner has the face of the Syrian regime tattooed on his chest. Portraits of the family that's ruled Syria for more than 40 years. Former President Hafez al-Assad, his long-dead son Basil, and the current president, Bashar